Fantastic!
Hello everyone!
Hello.
It's nearly the end of the year, and I figured it would be a lot of fun to close it off with a little quiz. The feedback last time was mostly about balancing the difficulty, so I've done my very best to make it ramp up just a little bit more. But hey, let's just dive into it and see how you do. Scholomance, School of Necromancy, became the home base for Kel'Thuzad and his Cult of the Damned. But what family owned Scholomance before the Necromancer showed up?
I know this. Can I pause?
That would be the Baroth family, who entered a deal with Kel'Thuzad to preserve their fortune and hold of the land. Safe to say, things didn't work out as they expected.
At this point, the Cult of the Damned is a cult classic.
Deathwing and his Black Dragon family.
Hang on, it's missing off the screen off the top there. Ah. You. Oh, I have to unlock. Wait, what? Oh, I'm such an amateur. Right, we'll start it again.
Hello everyone! It's nearly the end of the year, and I figured it would be a lot of fun to close it off with a little quiz. The feedback last time was mostly about balancing the difficulty, so I've done my very best to make it ramp up just a little bit more.
Oof.
But hey, let's just dive into it and see how you do. Scholomance, School of Necromancy, became the home base for Kel'Thuzad and his Cult of the Damned. But what family owned Scholomance before the Necromancer showed up?
The Baroth family, we got that before.
That would be the Baroth family, who entered a deal with Kel'Thuzad to preserve their fortune and hold of the land. Safe to say, things didn't work out as they expected.
At this point, the Cult of the Damned is a cult classic.
Deathwing and his Black Dragon family. They've caused quite a bit of trouble for the world. But who was the lucky lady that nearly married Deathwing?
Arthur's sister. What's her name? What's her name? Kalia.
Kalia Menethil was nearly married off to Dave Oprestor, the disguise used by the Black Dragon aspects, but the world fighting him and his schemes. It saves her from that unfortunate fate, and now she walks the land as a holy undead.
Light's blessing upon you.
Now I know that a whole lot of you have been reliving Classic, or you're enjoying it for the very first time.
Playing it now,
Rose in the Molten Core, the Dark Horde with Nefarian in Blackrock Spire, who was responsible for summoning the heroes of the Horde and Alliance to clean out the mountain.
Who was that? Who manipulated heroes to clean out Blackrock Mountain? It wasn't Nefarian, were it? No, it was... the dwarf who was married to the Dark Iron King. Moira. I'm guessing Moira.
Moira Bronzebeard, kidnapped daughter of Magni. She fell in love with the captor, even conceived a child. It was her clever mind that leaked information of the threats and
Alright, messy lad.
Treasures that were waiting in the mountain, and this, in turn, it brought heroes of the world to clean it out for her and liberate the Dark Irons from their enslavement.
Keep poking me, and I'll show you how a Dark Iron rots!
Now Sylvanas has abandoned the Horde to kick off the next expansion. Before her, there was another war chief that became quite a problem. Garrosh, he did not relinquish his title of war chief. Instead, the world rose up and forced him out of it. Placed on trial, which two dragons helped him escape and kick off the next expansion into Draenor.
That was Rathian, and the Blood Elf. The blood elf, the blonde blood elf. Ah, shit, what was he called? Kairos.
The bronze dragon Kairos Dormu. He worked together with the black dragon Rephion to set Garrosh free and take him into an alternate reality. Once there, he could form this alternate horde, have it stand with us against the coming legion. Plans
What
with
an
the rest
expansion that was.
Plans that didn't really work out.
We will never be slaves!
We all know about the love affair between Jaina and Arthas. Those two were close, even as children, and grew closer still as time went on. During his travels, the prince often met pretty young ladies. None were able to capture his heart like Jaina had, though, but who was sent to his room to keep him company when he was inspecting internment camps and spending his time at Durnholz.
I know this one. It was... It's the female character who's in the Escape from Durnholz dungeon, which was in TBC, I think. When you have to help Thrall escape. I think she was sent to that room by... I can't remember his name, the leader of that keep. And Arthas refused her. Theresa. The woman in that dungeon.
Was sent up to the prince's room because her master thought that he would enjoy her company. Being the true honorable prince that he was, Arthas, he did not take advantage of the offer. Instead, they spent a few hours together. They just chatted away the nights and enjoyed each other's company before sending her back.
My Lord Blackmore sent me with this offering of things to tempt you.
Alright, onwards to the next section. It is sound clip time. I'm going to play a little sound file from World of Warcraft. You tell me what we're hearing.
Plans? Little old me?
Ugh.
What sort of plans could I possibly have?
The Dark Lady.
Yes,
Sylvanas.
obviously.
She apparently has quite a few plans going on. Plans to increase her power and make ready for that brand new expansion.
Sylvanas.
Going into the Shadowlands.
Curse you! Curse your mother! I will bite your head down your throat! You Odin himself would you to the ground!
One of the...
Oh, it's already shown it. I wouldn't have got that. I had no idea what that was.
Sound clips that you could find in the game. This is King Gimmeron hanging out as a follower in the Warrior Order Hall, being poked until he can't take no more.
Thaddeus in Naxxramas. He's stitched up of people.
I'm pretty sure that this clip has been used in several places in the game, but the one that stands out, that would be Naxxramas. These are the screams of the tormented. You hear echoing through the halls, until you face Thaddeus. Then, all of a sudden, the screams are no longer there, as they are fused in this titanic, undead monstrosity.
There is no good, no evil, no light. There is only power!
Archbishop Benedictus gave this beautiful speech each time that we faced during the cataclysm.
Yeah, I knew that one.
A holy man
I got distracted
fell to despair and darkness as he gazed upon that
I knew
ring,
that one.
now going by the title
From that dungeon
of
in
Yes.
Cataclysm.
Yes. No.
Oh, it's a panda. It's one of the pandas.
Yes.
It's one of the pandas.
No.
It could be Chen. Could be Chen. It could be Lawwalker Cho. Could be Taranzu. It could be any of them. I'll go for Cho.
Oh, Pippers!
Uncle Gao storms out. He was quite happy experimenting and messing about in the...
That's a bit of a... That's an odd one.
Stormstout Brewery, but his recipes created quite a bit of trouble for heroes. And next up, let's go into screenshot time. What are we looking at?
That is in Tanaris. Is it the gate into Uldum before it changed? It's definitely in Tanaris.
These are the gates in Tanaris, which lead into Uldum before they were opened up, before the cataclysm rocked the world and the magical defenses around the
Bossing it.
deserts.
I got it.
Disappeared.
That's in Dragonblight. That's the bones of Galakrond, who was the first Proto-Drake, and he got too big. He had to be killed. He was huge. Bones of Galakrond.
The bones of Galakrond in Northrend, once said to be the first amongst the dragons.
I'm shit. I'm doing brilliant, I think.
Now we know that he was a massive proto-dragon. He became so huge, such a problem, that he started to eat his own kind. The now dragon aspects. They had to unite with Keeper Tyr to take him out.
I bet
Here
it
we
is
see
messy.
the undead trying to
I bet it
resurrect
is.
him. Thankfully, that
I've
never
seen
came
it.
to be.
I can vouch. This is new. This is in Arathi Highlands. It's the graves. I've seen Nobbel talk about this. So this is cheating, I think. It's the graves of the undead who were killed by Sylvanas when they ran towards the humans in that meeting. The meeting where Kalia died.
Before the whole 4th war kicked off in battle for Azeroth, there was an attempt made at peace. Here we see the graves of those
Look at that
poor
beautiful
Forsaken
man.
that
Look at
came
him.
here to reunite with their living relatives. A story told in the novel Before the Storm, a meeting that ended in tragedy. On Argus, the Kroko, they have a little museum going
I had
on.
no idea
One
what
of the
that
items
was.
that stands out
No
here
idea.
are all the remains of the legendary orc Proxigar. He jumped through the portal over the Well of Eternity to stand his ground against none other than Sargeras. This brought Azeroth the
I know
time
who
it needed
Proxigar
to stop
is,
the
but I
Dark
had no
Titan
idea
from
where
coming
that
into the
was.
world. Now, if there's one spirit that I'd love to make a cameo during the Shadowlands, it would be Proxigar.
Oh, that'd be cool. I know where that is. That's in Orgrimmar, and that is the demon who was killed by oh wow, what's his name? Like one of the most famous characters in the Garrosh's dad. Hellscream. Manaroth? Manaroth, is that his name? He was the demon whose blood they drank. Grom.
It was the blood of Manaroth, the
Yes,
bounty orcs
Bones
of
of
the Burning
Manaroth.
Legion. And it would
Yep.
take them many years,
Yep.
even drinking once again, to see Gromash rise up and slay
Who wrote this quiz? This quiz is by the legend Nobbel.
the Pit Lords. His skull and armor are proudly displayed in Orgrimmar, to then later be used by Grum's son Garrosh. He moved the skull to above the throne, while the tusks, they made his shoulders all the more badass. For our next
Nice.
section, I'm going to give you a description of an area, or a zone, or a planet. Up to you to answer what exactly I'm talking about. So for example, if I tell you that this is the place where the bones of Galakrond rest, then the answer would be Dragonblight.
Yeah.
Alright, let's start off with the first
Okay.
one. Once part of the Elven Kingdom, this area was transformed when the goblins, they joined the Horde, and he wanted to do a little
No.
something to show their loyalty. The goblin
What zone was once part of the Night Elf Empire and was transformed by the goblins? You heard Nobbel was my best mate. You heard right. That's a
way
Shara,
of saying
clearly.
thank you.
That's clearly a Shara.
The zone that I'm talking about, that is called a Jora, reshaped to look like the Horde symbol by the
Your
goblins.
ass. Oh, it's
This
true.
area was abandoned when a mighty volcano erupted around the time of the Cataclysm. Heroes were once blamed for this, while in truth, it was greed that caused its destruction.
Kazan. That's the goblin starter zone in Kazan. You go back in BFA.
That's the island of Kazan, abandoned by the goblins. Since the leader Gallywix, he dug so deep that it caused Mount Kajaro to erupt. This greed, though, it did make him one of the first to get his hands on Azerite, something that we'd later return for.
I'm a lore
In
genius.
this area, ogres and grun rule the land. A much younger Khadgar teamed up with them, faced off against the mighty Black Dragon Deathwing, and was able to hurt him by magically assaulting the plates of armor that hold the dragon together.
That's in Outlands. Blades Edge Mountains. Blaze Edge Mountains were the ground for the Black Dragonfly.
This took place in the Blaze Edge Mountains, where even to this day you can see the remnants of the Black Dragons. They're hung up on spikes.
I look like Nobbel.
Sibelian,
I
son of
wish.
Deathwing, even hangs out here, handing out quests.
I wish I did.
And this is why Gruul has the Dragon Slayer title. The Warlock's Dreadsteed and Rawsteeds, they're bred on this planet. A portal was opened to it while fighting Portal Keeper Hazabel. What world am I talking about?
Oh, this is going to annoy me. I know the name of this. Which Burning Legion-controlled world is home to the Dreadsteeds and Wrathsteeds, the Warlock mounts? I can't remember what it's called. Is it going to be with S? I don't remember the name. I'll know it when he says it, but I don't remember it.
This one is known as Zorro,
Zorro.
one of the fiery, chaotic worlds belonging to the Burning Legion. I do wonder what it's like
Mexico?
these days, with Sargeras defeated and all. Maybe a question answered in the future. It
I should
was
have got
here,
that one.
With the Draenei on the run from Kil'jaeden and the Legion, they made the crash landing. The spirits of the orcs, they're sucked into their abandoned vessel, while one's connection to the elements is
What
actually quite
the
strong.
Draenei
here.
abandoned the ship and on the run from Kil'jaeden? Nagrand. Nagrand.
This beautiful area is known as Nagrand, with its throne of elements and Oshugun. Oshugun being the ship that the Draenei used to flee from Argus. Which brings us to final questions time, with multiple answers.
When are these invites going out? Are we even doing it still?
See how many you can get. Dalaran was destroyed by Archimonde during Warcraft 3, but then they rebuilt it and sent it off into the skies. What locations has this floating citadel visited so far?
Oh god, this is a big question. What locations has Dalaran visited so far while floating? Northrend, obviously. Crystal Song Forest. Broken Isles. But before it went to the Broken Isles, it was above Karazhan. It's not Florida. Yeah, it is. Crystal Song Forest in Northrend. Broken Isles. It was above Karazhan. It was in Hillsbrad, yeah, but it weren't floating in Hillsbrad. I don't know if that counts. Where else has it been? Is that it? Just them? I feel like I'm missing one. I'm missing one.
First, it moved to Northrend to aid in the
Yeah.
Nexus War and fight
Got
against the
that.
Lich King. Fun fact, it was actually once planned to play its part during the Siege of Orgrimmar, but that part never happened. Instead, it first moved
Please watch this music video. It's called Help Oh Well. I'll watch it after this, if you can get a link to me.
to the Deadwind Pass, before we teleported it to the Broken Isles.
Yeah.
How many of the
I
9
got it right.
Valkyrie remain
I
that
got it
entered the
right.
pact with Sylvanas after she killed herself? Bonus points if you can actually name them.
How many Valkyria are left that made the pact with Sylvanas? 3. 4? No, 3. Yeah, 3. I don't know what they're called. Send it as a direct message. That should work.
There are 3 Valkyrie remaining, namely Kira, Signa, and an unnamed first.
I don't know what they're
Valkyrie.
called.
The original Horde invaded Azeroth and
Hello
failed
there.
to conquer the planet.
Thanks for the follow, Josiah Mackie. Thank you.
To which they came up with a brand new plan. They were going to make more portals to different worlds, and instead invade those. Which 3 powerful items, which 3 powerful artifacts did Ner'zhul need for his ritual?
I know this. I know this. Why is nothing? I don't know what's happening with Zul'Gurub. 1 second. 3 items. It was Eye of Dalaran. Scepter of Sargeras? No? No, it weren't that. Maybe it were. Eye of Dalaran. Book of Medivh. Another hour? Do we? Oh yeah, we do. I'm an hour early. Never mind. I'm an hour early. Book of Medivh. Eye of Dalaran. Yeah, I got confused. And some sort of staff or scepter.
This ritual required the Book of Medivh, the Eye of Dalaran, and the Scepter of Sargeras. Ner'zhul, he was successful in creating all of his portals, but the Alliance later on, they prevented the Horde from inflicting the same pain to other worlds as they had caused to Azeroth. These portals would lead to the destruction of Draenor into Outland as we know it today. Well, Ner'zhul, he ended up right in the hands of Kil'jaeden, and then was turned into the Lich King. Now, speaking of the Horde, and our final question for today, name all the different Hordes and the War Chiefs.
What? Name all the different variations of the Horde and the War Chiefs. Are you kidding me? Well, you've got the Horde as we know it now, where you had Sylvanas, Vol'jin, Thrall, Garrosh. That's 4. And then you had Blackhand, obviously, and Doomhammer. Was he 1? That's 6. Rend, Grom. That's 8. I can't think of any more. I can only think of 8.
This one has quite a lot of answers. There have been so many over the years that I might have forgotten a few of them, but here's my best try. There was the very first Horde with the War Chief Blackhand. He was challenged to Mak'gora by Orgrim Doomhammer, who then took over. That Horde was defeated by the Alliance of Lordaeron. Some of them, they returned home to Draenor, while others, they took a base in the Blackrock Mountain under leadership of Ren Blackhand and his so-called Dark Horde.
The Fell Horde,
Those that fled home, they later returned with their War Chief Ner'zhul, also defeated. Those that had stayed home, they would fall under leadership of
I didn't do too bad.
But the War Chief, he was Karkov Bladefist of the so-called Fell Horde.
I didn't do too bad.
Thrall rose up. The Horde changed quite a bit, with additions like the Tauren, the Trolls and the Forsaken. Garrosh was then given leadership of this Horde, his so-called True Horde. He then travelled to alternate Draenor, where alternate Gromash, he became the War Chief of the Iron Horde. Meanwhile, Vol'jin, he took over as War Chief for Azeroth's Horde, to do nothing and died to the demons. Before he died, he passed the leadership to Sylvanas, who abandoned the Horde to kick off the next expansion, which leaves us with seemingly no War Chief, but rather a council.
That's a lot of War Chiefs.
You can never have enough Horde or War Chiefs, it seems. Hopefully, I didn't forget one, and hopefully you really enjoyed this little quiz. If all things go according to plan, then this should be one of my last videos for the year 2019. Another year has come and gone, and what a year it's been. The start of next month should be the release of patch 8.3. And then it's onwards to the Shadowlands beta and a brand new expansion. For now, all that's left for me to say is thank you so very much, everybody. I hope the next year is going to bring all that you're looking for. Stay safe for your celebrations. And until next time.
What a year 2020 has been. I think I did really well then. I must have almost got 100%.